So it's January now, the transfer window is here, and there's been no bids for the Butcher yet. I don't think we're going to sell him, but there have been bids for other players that we need to talk about. Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco. Today we have got two games for you, Derby and Burnley in the Premier League. First of all, I need to apologise though, just for lack of uploads in the past couple of days. I've just been really busy with university work. It's like the last little push now before I'm basically finished at uni, so there's a lot of work to go on in the short space of time, which is a bit annoying. So yesterday's video was meant to go out on like Friday, but then first of all I edited it wrong, so the aspect ratio is really weird, so it would have been like a little tiny square in the middle of it. Would have been like 70% black screen, 30% video maybe, I don't know, something like that. So I had to re-edit that and then upload it again at a different point, and that took me a little while to do because I had so much work to do. So it's still going on a little bit, so expect uploads to be a little bit shaky over the next couple of days, the next week or so, but then it should be back to normal, I think, as soon as my last essay's in, and then I've got an exam, but that's a little while away, so I can get back to this and just sort of concentrate getting some content out for you and stuff like that. So just a little apology, but that's just so you know what's going on. Right, there has been a lot of news to get through, so let's try and get through it all. We'll start off here. The Butcher, he's right here actually. As you can see, he's just come back from an injury. He's out for like 3 or 4 days with a twisted ankle, but he's back now, so it's all right. Obviously, the big debate was, do we sell him for £89 million, or at least £89 million? And most people seem to say no, keep him till the end of the season, see how he does and things like that. So that's what my plan was to do. But actually, he came to me and said, I want a new contract. And I said, can you just wait till the end of the season? Because at that point, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to sell him or not. And he said, no, I can't wait. I want it now. So it's like, okay, we'll offer you a contract now. He's got a new contract, but he insisted on having a minimum fee release clause of £111 million. So if he does go, it's going to be for £111 million at some point. So it could be this window if PSG decide to pull the finger out, but it might be not this window, it could be down the line somewhere. So he's probably not going to go unless someone triggers that release fee clause. Right on the first day of a transfer window, PSG offered £34.5 million for Patina, who at the time had a minimum fee release clause of £37 million, which is, for a player of his quality, absolutely nothing. So after that, he actually came to us and said, can I have a new contract? And we're like, yeah, okay, you can have a new contract, because I don't want him to go. So he's on a new contract now. He said he wanted 90,000 a week. I offered him the contract with 90,000 a week, and he said, no, I want 115,000, which was a bit annoying, but he's got it now. I couldn't take it down. That was the annoying thing. I could put it up, but I couldn't take it down because he said, no, I want that as a minimum. Crucially, though, there's no minimum fee release clause on this one, though, so we almost lost him, to be fair, but we've managed to keep hold of him. No minimum fee release clause now, so we can charge as much as we want for him if a bid does come in again. So thank you, Patino, for not leaving us. Now, just literally a few moments ago, Real Madrid put in a £39.5 million offer for Mauro Gomez, but it's 29 up front and then 39 after like bonuses, like it's league appearances and things like that. We had an offer for him from, I think it's Huji Jingfao, I think that's how you say it, maybe a Chinese club either way. They offered 34.5 million up front for him, and we said no to that. And 39.5 is a lot of money, but he's our backup right back, which we probably need, and currently Bacholk on the left is probably out for the rest of the season, so he's also can play on the left. So I feel like we need to keep him. So I think if this was January, if this was the summer, I'd probably say yes. But I think this is, I can't. I think I'm going to say no to this. And we've had one more offer. Real Madrid once again bidding 42.5, rising to 78 million for Morala on that right hand side. Let's look at this offer then. It's only 42 up front, with then 14 million in 2 instalments, and then after 50 games, 14, and after 10 international appearances, 7 million. If we're not getting rid of the Butcher, I don't think we need to get rid of Morala either. I don't think I'm going to make any massive tactical changes like this until summer. So for now, we're going to say no for Morala as well. We'll say it's indispensable to the club. He may get cross with me for this, I don't know. But now there is one more bit of transfer business to talk about here. If we can find Jalapeno. He's handed in a transfer request, which I can't do any more about now. Okay. I was waiting for you guys so I could click accept or reject, but it's now gone. So, basically, Barcelona have been trying to sign him in summer. We said yes, then no. And then this January they signed Theo Simon from Southampton for 90 million, and now he's really cross with me because he thinks I've blocked his move to Barcelona, which I have technically, I suppose. So he wanted to hand in a transfer request, and I was going to say yes, because if he doesn't want to be here, I don't care. He's only our third best central midfielder. I mean, this does say second, but I reckon Mertens is slightly better than him. So I was going to say yes and see what offer comes in, because at the start of the window it said predicted transfers. It was like Arsenal for Jalapeno, £110 million. And if that happens, then, well, he's going, really, I suppose. Because we can get someone else in, that's the thing. We just set his transfer status then. Oh, he has been transfer listed. Well, okay. Well, I thought I'd waited, but apparently I hadn't waited. So he's transfer listed as well. So we may see a big come in for him in today's episode. Since you were last here, let's do this then. Since you were last here, after the Man City and Arsenal games, we beat Bournemouth 6-2 with a huge win. We were 2-1 down at half time, or there was 2-2 at half time. We were 2-1 down though, and then suddenly 4 in the second half made it 6-2, pretty unassailable. The game after that, Crystal Palace 2-0, Mark Hall picking up a brace there. That was a pretty routine game as well. Just played our game, got the goals we needed, and that was it, settled. We then had a bit of a shock draw with Chelsea. Chelsea down in 15th in the Premier League at the moment. Drew 1-1 with them, which was pretty bad, but Man United also drew that game as well against Tottenham, so the gap didn't change. We still stayed and kept up with Man United. It didn't get away from us, which was quite nice. They'd also lost the game at some point as well, so we're only 1 point behind them at this point. So that win, if we'd won that game, we would have gone ahead of them, which would have been great, but we drew, they drew, so we're still only 1 point behind them at that point. We then played Gillingham in the FA Cup, 1-4-1. Matthew Preston is a youth player that came through and scored an absolute wonder goal from about 30 yards out to make his debut, which is pretty cool. Like Classic with a hat-trick as well, which is quite nice. But Gillingham like League 2, so it wasn't really a big game. It was a comfortable win. That's all we needed, really. Carabao Cup semi-final, first leg was next, 6-2 against Reading. I think we're going to be in the final, so I don't think we have to worry about that too much. And then last time out, we were 3-1 up against Liverpool. Before then, they scored 3, and we lost 4-3, which was really annoying. And Liverpool they were down in maybe 17th at the time. I think 17th, I think they were. So it was a really poor result for us. Man United also won that weekend, so then they go back 4 points ahead of us, which isn't great. So the table, as you can see, we're really comfortably far. I say comfortably far ahead. If we win our game in hand, we're comfortably far ahead of Arsenal. Then go 4 points behind Man United again. But again, 4 points ahead of us. They're not really slipping up this season. When they did slip up, it was a draw, and that was it really. So we have to be on our absolute A game if we want to keep up with United and take over them in the Premier League at some point. But it's probably not going to happen. Right, enough dilly-dallying. Today, we need to take on Derby, get back to winning ways after that loss to Liverpool, and get some 3 points on the board. So Saga in goal with a back four of the Belgian chap, Patino, Kaufman and Hernandez. Mertens and Oriol start in midfield. Oriol just come back from an injury, so it's nice to see him back again. Morella and the Butcher out on the wings, with Thomas and Hammertime starting as strikers today, because Mark Hall was injured in the last game. He's out for 2 to 5 weeks at the moment, which is a little bit worrying. I'm not a fan of that, really. Right, kickoff is upon us here at Grant Brown Park. We need a huge win today. Derby, they should be a relatively easy win. Where are they in the table, actually, if we look down, when it wants to show me in a second. First highlight of the game. Hopefully it's an early goal for us, although Clayton Robb has the ball for Derby now, and they're trying to come forward with it. Richarlison is still playing somehow, but he's playing for Derby now, not Watford. We've retained possession, though, and now Mertens with a chance to come forward. Very slowly, though. Plays a nice ball out towards Morella, who cuts back around, plays it out towards Oriol, who can find a ball to the Butcher, and the Butcher can just put it across the middle, headed clear, but only as far as Morella, who can once again get it out towards the Butcher, back to Morella, puts it over the bar. But a nice little work move there. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So Derby, as things stand, currently mid-table. If they get a draw, then they go up to 10th. So they're doing all right for themselves this season, actually, after being promoted last year. You might be able to tell as well that it's a bit early in the morning. That's why my throat, and I sound a little bit weird, maybe, because it is. I say it's early in the morning. What time is it? It's just gone 10 o'clock. But, you know, it's early in the morning for me, I've got to say, as the ball comes in and Saga makes a great save. I've also just remembered as well the Oriol nickname debacle. We need to look at that again. Let me just get the video up. Right, we need to look at this again. I've not voted on this thing yet, so I'm not going to count my vote. I didn't count it last time either, but it was a bit weird. So if I click on Oriol, it's much more conclusive this time. 70%. It still says 70%, 29%, not 70%, 30%. But it is 70% to Oriol as the Butcher, or someone just scored a goal. 70% to the Butcher, apparently 29 to Oreo, but it doesn't really make sense. So Oriol is the name we're going to stick with because this vote says so. So that's what we're going to do. If I actually go onto Oreo, it doesn't really change much at all. It goes to 69, 30%. So I mean, I don't really understand where this missing 1% comes from in this vote and the last vote. So I guess it's just something, a glitch in the YouTube voting thing. I mean, I don't know. But Oriole is the name I'm going to stick with then. Thank you to everyone for voting in that, by the way. You've settled a great debate there. It was threatened to go on for a long time. It could have gone on for the rest of the season. If it had been 50-50 every single episode, then it would have gone on forever. So thank you for finally settling that. Anyway, decent first half. We're 1-0 up. The Butcher scored. We probably should have a few more goals looking at these stats and things like that. But as long as we're winning, that's the main thing. I wasn't even paying attention. But we scored another one. Morala this time getting the goal. The wingers have been getting quite a few goals recently, I've got to say, actually. Butcher and Morala, they like, I mean, obviously Hammer Time's got both the assists here, but they like to set each other up. They usually put like a deep cross in and it just goes to the other winger who ends up scoring and things like that. So that's always quite nice. I mean, literally only one highlight in that second half, and it was for the goal that I missed. So quite the boring game. I think looking at these stats, 28 shots, 13 on target. We should have had a few more goals really, but we've won the game, got the 3 points, kept a clean sheet. What more can you really ask for, I suppose? So a good win there from the boys. Keeps us up 4 points behind Man United. Good win out there. Well done. Job's done. Wilfred Thomas's agent wants him to have a new contract, which, I mean, to be fair, he probably deserves it. He's on 22k a week at the moment, paid at £55 million, which is ridiculous. He wants 62 is not outrageous, really, when you consider what some of our players are on. We'll get rid of his yearly wage rise. We'll get rid of his unused substitute fee. We'll take it down to like 55. Will he accept that? No, he wants 63. Actually, no, mate. Back to 55, please. He's happy. Quick business, that's what I like. Also, Hammer Time, as he's black now. I swear he wasn't black. I swear he never used to be black. That's okay. Oh, also, I feel like I'm doing today's episode in a bit of a weird manner. I don't know if it's flowing that well or not, but I just remembered Mark Hall won European Golden Boy for the 3rd time in a row. Now, I just want you to think about this. 45 appearances, 45 goals, 23 assists. Fantastic, right? He's won European Golden Boy with those kind of stats, which is incredible. If we look at World Player of the Year, best, and that's World Cup, I don't want that. World Player of the Year went to Jose Osorio, 46 appearances, which is 1 more than Mark Hall, 42 goals, which is 3 less than Mark Hall, and only 10 assists, which is 13 less than Mark Hall, and a lower average rating as well. So, please tell me why Mark Hall did not win World Player of the Year. I find it a bit insulting, really. I mean, he's won Golden Boy with better stats than all these players have, basically. So, I mean, Hammer Time won it fair and square, 49 appearances, 56 goals. That is incredible. Like, he won that fair and square. Jose Osorio has not won that fair and square because Mark Hall has done better than him. So, there's bias in FIFA. There's bias, but is that news to anyone? No, of course it's not. Right, if Jalapeno wants to go, and there was a rumoured bid of 100 million plus for him, let's go and offer to clubs. Let's put it up to, let's put it to like 125 million. See if anyone bids that, because if someone bid that, that'd be crazy. I mean, no one's actually crazy enough to bid that kind of money for him, so we'll leave it for now. I don't really want him to go, but if they were going to offer me 125 million, he would have gone. You know what? I think I'm pretty happy keeping the exact same lineup out for the Burnley game. They did the job last time out, so I'm pretty happy. Although I do want to bring John Hughes on the bench. He's a young striker that we have got at the moment at the club. I don't think he's actually scored a goal yet, but he has started a few like cup games and things like that. And he's not really scored. Oh, I tell you another bit. I'm forgetting all this big news. Merton's contract runs out this summer, but he doesn't want to sign a new one. He does not want to sign a new one, and I think it's due to a promise that we made him right at the start of the season. He said he wants to win the Champions League and said he wasn't going to do it here, and I said, we've got some good youth talent coming through, stick around. He was like, yeah, we do actually. So I think he's waiting to see how this youth develop, and then we can offer him a new contract. And I pray that the youth includes like Wilfred Thomas, and it also includes Mark Hall, and probably the Butcher as well. In fact, anyone who's like under 22 years old, which is probably most of the squad really. Hopefully, he thinks they're youth as well, which will definitely help. If not, I think we may be losing him for nothing, because he might just argue with me or something like that. I don't know. But that's something we need to monitor as well. We can talk about it more as it gets more serious as the season goes on. But this could be the last few games we get out of him, because he may just want to leave, which would be awful because he's worth a lot of money. He's worth an awful lot of money. We paid a lot of money for him, and quite frankly, he's one of the best players in the squad, so I'd be very sad to lose him. We've got an attack, though, in the 11th minute of the game. The Butcher puts the ball in, and Hammer Time is there to just pounce on it. The defenders seem to move away from it, and Hammer Time just walked up to it, tapped it, back of the net, 1-0. Well, a highlight straight from kickoff, which is usually in FM17 at least, it would lead to a goal. FM18, it's not quite as common for a goal straight from kickoff, or a highlight straight from kickoff to result in a goal, but this time it does, as Thomas puts Hammer Time through wonderfully, and just like that, in the space of about 30 seconds, Hammer Time has doubled his tally. Former Lincoln player here, Lincoln Loco, of course, not in real life. Rabbi Matondo on the right wing, played for us for a little while, was never really that good, to be fair, and we let him go. But to be fair, he was signed for us maybe in our first season in the Premier League, and he wasn't very good, and then we ended, oh, here we go again, the Butcher's out injured. Let me finish the story first, though. We signed him in like our first season. He wasn't actually that good. We sold him to like a champion. I think we might have sold him to Burnley in the Championship, actually. And since then, he's developed really well and become a pretty decent Premier League player for them. As Morala makes it 3-0. Let's get old Thingamajiggy off the pitch. The Butcher, he's picked up another knock. He loves getting knocks. He literally loves them. He got his assist, and then he's like, nah, that's it for me today. I'll get injured, and I can go home early, essentially. That's what he thinks. Probably. That's probably his attitude. Someone in the comments actually left a comment saying that his logic is if he only plays like 2 games and then gets injured for like 6 weeks, but plays amazingly in those 2 games, surely he'll win Player of the Year. And I thought that was funny at the time, and I was laughing at myself. Morala just misses an absolute sitter as well. It's a mixed game so far. The ball is put through towards Silva, and Silva puts it narrowly past the post. That's the closest Burnley have come all game. Unfortunately, though, wasn't good enough. First highlight of the second half now. Slater punts the ball right up towards Hammer Time, who, I don't think he won it, but it went back to our players at least. And now he's back on the ball, Hammer Time, into Wilfred Thomas, who's nearly signed his new contract. Doesn't quite work out for him, though, and the ball is now being pinged back towards Burnley, as Burnley come forward now through their man, in towards Silva once again, who this time does manage to score. The clean sheet isn't on, Slater beaten, and we've got to be careful now, because this has happened before against Liverpool. When we look pretty comfortable, then lose it. So we just need to calm down, concentrate, maybe get another one to keep that 3-goal lead. As Morala hears me and does it. Brad Year with the assist, Morala with the goal. Mate, he's worth more than that 78 million Real Madrid bid for me, I've got to say. He's worth more. I'd say he's worth 100 million at least, Morala. So, yeah, I don't know. There's no point me saying that because I'm not going to sell him for anything at the moment. But if someone offers me 100 million, it's kind of what be like, oh yeah, that's the right price range. Instant reject still. Yeo now on the ball for his play through towards Oriel. His ball, though, not the best one. But he does win possession back, and again, his ball, not the best one. You're meant to be like the best player in the world. I mean, he's not won World Player of the Year, actually, so maybe he's not the best player in the world. But in terms of midfielders, he's up there, I've got to say. He lost the ball. Mason Mount, is that Mason Mount playing in midfield as well, number 7? Because if it is, he's to play for us as well. It's another big reunion. It is Mason Mount who's come on the pitch. I feel like we signed him on a free transfer. We did, and then sold him for £1 million to Burnley. And at the time, that was huge for us. We were like, what? You know, buying a player on a free, selling them for £1 million, that is crazy. But we're now looking at selling players that we bought for like £10 million. In fact, Jalapeno, we bought him for like maybe 10, 12 million pounds, and we're looking at selling him for 100 million and things like that. That's crazy kind of deal. Oh, Kaufman is forced off the pitch with an injury in the 91st minute, which is annoying. Zook will come on. What kind of injury are we looking at? It's probably it's head injury, so it's probably concussion. So he'll be out for 2 to 3 weeks, which we'll miss him for, definitely. We'll definitely miss him, but it's not the end of the world. And there we go. Lincoln 4, Burnley 1. Slightly better performance, I think, than the Derby game, but we did concede, which is a little bit worrying. Yep, concussion. So he's out for 2 to 3 weeks, which we'll miss him for, but it's not the end of the world. Butcher out for 1 to 3 days again. Classic, so he'll miss the game against Reading in a few days' time. And Morala on form with 2 goals there. Next episode then will definitely be this first Ajax game. Now, we may do another episode where it's like Ajax, miss a Tottenham, do Man United, miss Stoke, do the Ajax game to get it out of the way. But the Carabao Cup, I mean, we're basically in the final already after winning 6-2 in that first leg. That game will probably be coming up here as well, and it's either going to be Man United or Birmingham. I know they drew in that first leg they played, so it's going to be either one of those. So next episode will probably more likely be Swansea Ajax, then like the Man United and the cup final game, then the Ajax and Southampton game or something like that maybe. So we'll have to wait and see, but that's probably how it's going to pan out, I think. So after all the excitement of basically saying we're going to sell the Butcher for 100 million plus and Jalapeno for 100 million plus, nothing's happened, and I don't think it will happen. So bit of an anticlimax, I know. But if you have enjoyed the episode still, make sure you do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.